For decades now, Frank Abagnale has served as a consultant for individuals, companies, CIOs, CEOs all around the country. In this particular conversation, we talked about blockchain, cryptocurrency, and the technology that he's most worried about. What are your thoughts on cryptocurrency?
I wouldn't do anything with cryptocurrency right now. We've shut down 112 exchanges over the last year for fraud. We've had a lot of problems with people on the internet hacking into cryptocurrency sites and stealing everybody's Bitcoin. It's not a real safe environment. So again, like any new technology, people see a lot of money and they take a lot of risks, but it still has a lot of risks associated with it. And like any new technology, it'll probably eventually get better and there'll be a more secure way of using cryptocurrency. And this can be said about blockchain. I'm a big fan of blockchain. I do believe blockchain is the wave of the future where we'll store data for banks and insurance companies, vital records for counties and cities, and so on. But there are a lot of social issues that have to be worked out. For example, there would be no witness protection program if there was blockchain, because I could never hide the person from blockchain. People who change their sex and don't want everyone to ever actually know what their real sex was, that would be impossible to do. So those kind of social issues, then again, like any new technology, you work through them, you find solutions for them. But I have a lot more faith that blockchain will go a lot further than cryptocurrency, and cryptocurrency will take a long time to come along and be safe.
Is there a technology that you're really excited about, or is there technology that you're really scared of that's on the horizon?
Okay, let's take both. I'm very excited about Tristana. I have to admit that I've been an advisor, but on the government's behalf, to Tristana for 5 years, because the government was very big about eliminating passwords. And we finally got there. It took a while, but we've got the ability now to identify someone from their device 100% accurately. So we'll be able now to eliminate passwords, and I'm a big, big supporter of getting rid of passwords. So I think that's probably the greatest technology to come along in the last 5 years. Up until now, cyber is all about money. It's a financial crime. If you steal data, data is money. And it's a financial crime. But the problem is, we have the power now to shut someone's pacemaker off, but we have to be within 35 feet of them. And we can speed it up, we can shut it off, so you can assassinate someone by simply walking by them on the sidewalk. That technology exists today. We have the ability now to chase a vehicle down the interstate and get up within 35 feet of the vehicle. And we know that a typical vehicle has 240 computer components in the car. So we can overtake that car. We can shut the motor off, we can shut the power windows down, we can turn the airbag on, we can lock the person in the vehicle. But again, we're restricted by distance. What's very scary to me is, what about in 5 years you do that from 500 miles away or 5,000 miles away? That's what gets real scary. If I could shut your pacemaker off and be sitting in Russia or sitting just even 1,000 miles away, that's where it gets real scary. So I think, unfortunately, cyber is going to go from a financial crime to a much more blacker type of crime for assassination purposes, for terrorism, and that's very scary to me. And I think we're heading down that road. So this is why we have to start really, we design a lot of great technology in this country, but we don't ever go to the final step. We don't say, okay, how would someone misuse this technology? So you have a device in your house, you talk to it, you say, what time is it? What's on TV tonight? Order me this from Amazon. That's voice activated. All I have to do is a minor twitch, and then I hear everything you say in your house. The cameras you have on your home that you watch your property when you go away on your iPhone, those are open for hackers. Your refrigerator tells you how much milk you have in it. That's an open door for hackers. Your Samsung TV, your remote control, all those things are hackers' dreams come true, because the developers have never went to that final step, because they're so convinced they need a return on their investment. We got to get it to market. They don't do that. So when I agreed to work with Tristana, that was the biggest thing to me. I'm not going to get involved in this unless we take it to the final step to make sure that no one can defeat it. And we'll have to not just end there. We'll have to look at it every year and say, has something come up that someone could do this with it? And that's what that needs to be done, but unfortunately we develop a lot of technology without ever going to the final step. Look at even remote debit capture. When I came out, I said in an interview, that's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. That someone can just scan a check and get immediate credit. What if I just take the check and then go cash the check? Now I've got twice the money. You know, they've obviously lost millions and millions of dollars with remote debit capture, and then banks got smart, set limits on it, and started to control what it was doing. But they should have thought of that before they ever put it in the marketplace to begin with.
Where is Tristana in the development and actually pushing it out?
It's out now
It's
and
out,
being
okay.
used by banks are starting to convert their ATMs over to using it. A lot of companies like Delta Airlines has vetted it for 2 years with their 80,000 employees, and they'll eventually move it out to their customer base. Most banks will vet things for a couple years internally to make sure that it does what it says it does and that has no weaknesses to it. Aetna started it out with communicating with their doctors, but now Aetna is bringing it out to all of their base of their insured customers. So I think there a lot of colleges and universities have already converted to no passwords with their students. So I think that's just that slow process of getting people to switch over. And then, you know, companies like Microsoft, Tristana is backed by Microsoft, is funded by Microsoft, and I think that will eventually, every game you play, everything you do within a Microsoft will be with no password, and that's where the ultimate gain is to go there. And we're well on our way there, and certainly in my lifetime will be no passwords. And what I really, to sum that up, someone asked me, why did you get so involved with this? And I said, really one reason. I have 5 grandchildren, oldest being a 16-year-old girl, youngest being a 1-year-old girl. I said, I want one day in the very near future them to walk into the car dealership and say, I'd like to buy this car, but I'd like to finance it through a bank. I want to get the best interest rate. All right, just press that app on your phone. That's it. I don't have to say where I live. I don't have to say my social security number, any personal information about me whatsoever. I press that app and they have everything they need. And all that information is with the entity. So for example, Tristana stores no data. So we knew that if someone hacked into Tristana, they get nothing because they store no data. They're only the way for the bank to get to their customer that they enter. If you call the call center now, they'll simply say to you, sir, you have your phone? Yes. You press the app on your phone? All right, how can I help you? They know it's you, so they don't have to say to me, what's the last 4 digits, social security number, what's your mother's maiden name? All those security questions go away. And that's the main objective, to keep people from having to give out their personal information.